Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to be assessing Manchester United's season. We're also going to discuss what Manchester United need this summer and what the expectations are next season. Now, today I am joined by the Manchester United Avengers, linking up with Saeed, Mina, and Abz Busquets. Yes, my people, how you lot feeling?
Come on.
Good, and I can't complain.
Big up to you.
Listen, we're going to go straight into it. I need you guys to give me one word to describe Manchester United season. Mina, I'm going to start with you. I want you to give me one word to describe Manchester United season.
One word. Assist. I'm on to Saeed. Saeed, last time we were here, you were saying, oh, if the price is right, we should sell Bruno this summer.
Oh,
and then when Bruno broke the record, guys, go look at his video. When Bruno broke the record, he's all talking about, oh yeah, Bruno got the. If it was up to you, Bruno would have no assist record because he wouldn't have been at Man United.
Hey.
Someone called him that.
Hey, is that the one word?
The official apology, by the way.
Is that the one word?
That's all I got.
What about you then, Saeed? I think yours might be sorry.
Mine, I can't lie. Mine's redemption. Mine's redemption.
Jeez, I like that one.
Redemption because you got the Kobe Mainu situation, the Michael Carrick coming in and everyone thinking that he wouldn't do well. Yeah, man, I'm gonna say redemption, man, because it's been a very good storyline so far. Michael Carrick.
Yeah, and what about you, Abz?
Roller coaster. We were looking at some of our Premier League predictions and all the SDS boys, and I don't think anyone had Man United in the top 5. I'm not sure if you did, Liban, you might have done. But it just showed that we had zero faith at the beginning of the season, and now we go into next season with a lot of faith. So that's a roller coaster for me.
Nah, I hear it. Mine is trajectory. I think that's my word in it. So we've shown some sort of trajectory. Obviously, I don't want to get too excited, but I feel like there's a lot of promise now, kind of going into next season. So what would you grade it then? What would you lot grade it?
Depends if you
8. I go 8. I go at 8.
But are you basing it off of United standards? Are you basing it off of, compared to other rivals? Are you comparing it to last season?
I mean, it's all up for discussion, innit? Like, there's no criteria. It's just how you feel based on the season, innit? So you can take all those things into account, but I want you to kind of give me a grade, innit?
If I look at it, most points since January, beating half of the big 6 or most of the big 6, if I'm being honest with you. Came into a difficult period, got us into third when nobody gave him a chance. Rejuvenated Kobe Mainu, got the best out of Casemiro, helped Bruno in his record to get 21 assists. So there's a lot of things, dynamics. Our front three got double-digit goals. Sesko rejuvenated them as well. I think there's a lot of layers to it. That's why I got with an 8, and ultimately got Man United into a position where now we can do a lot this summer. So, yeah, man, I'm going to give him an 8. You know what I mean? Okay, cool, it's not United standards, but I feel like we can't do standards talk now when no one really gave us a chance of making third. Nobody. Like, even a lot of United fans doubted themselves, saying, nah, Carrick, mad. So, I go with 8, but purely based on that.
Yeah. I feel like, Mina, you sound like you got... you're a bit less of what Saeed is saying.
No. I get Saeed's logic. I get his logic. For me, it's just understanding what the measurements are. What are you measuring it against? Because if you're measuring it against what Ruben Amorim did and the way that he started the season, then it will be a 10.
Yeah.
It'd be a 10 based on that. If you're basing it off of, silverware, it would be a 0 because United were unsuccessful. If you're basing it off of everything that happened last season, and like Saeed said, the Kobe Mainu situation, the Casemiro situation, even just bringing back the good feel factor of watching Manchester United play and, beating every single team, top 6 quotation marks, include Spurs, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, Arsenal. Like, Michael Carrick beat all of them. So for that reason, I'd give it, and I understand the 8. I'd give it a 7.5, 8. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's fair as well. Abz, what about you as well?
Yeah, probably B+ for a lot of the points the guys have said so far. What I would say is that in general, there wasn't ever an idea in any of our heads that we would be the best of the rest. Like, because that's what the situation has been. Usually the league divides itself as such, where it's the title challenges, and then there's a pack of teams that come right after them. I wouldn't have had Man United being the leader of that pack. And that's what we found ourselves being right now. Hence why we are all of the opinion, or most of us are of the opinion, that if we do get a couple of good moves right this summer, that we can go potentially into a title challenge next season. I wouldn't have ever anticipated us being in that position last summer, when me and you had all those disagreements, and Ruben Amorim was still manager at the club, and there was so much toxicity surrounding the club. So overall, B+ maybe. You know, it's like, I'm not comparing it to anything other than what we were like at the beginning of the season. So having said that, yeah, it's positive for sure.
Yeah, now I'll be honest with you. I gave it a 7, or maybe, like you say, a B as well. I always look at expectations versus reality, innit? So going into the season, I said Man United to finish 5th. So in my season predictions, I said Man United to finish 5th. Obviously, we had one game a season, and I look at the squad. I look at the players, the quality that we have, and I didn't see any reason why we couldn't get Champions League football. Obviously, after that first half of the season, it looked like it was far-fetched. Second half of the season, we look like a completely different team. And if you're judging it just purely on how we've turned our season around, I would say 7 is fair. Going back to what Mina was saying earlier in terms of United standards, obviously you want to win a trophy, you want to be competing, and I'm sure, you know, that's what every Manchester United fan wants. But relatively looking at our circumstances, our situation, I think 7 is kind of fair. I think, you know, we've made improvements. Like you said as well, Saeed, most points on the carrot. We beat all the big teams. So there is a lot of promise now and a platform. We've got a base now that we kind of build off for next season, isn't it? So there's a lot of positives to take. And that kind of leads on to my next thing as well. What is the expectations like next season? And what do we need this summer? So if you lot are Ineos, this is Ineos right now. This is the Ineos room. Yeah, Mina, Abz, you got them as a wallpaper. So you might be the CEO here. You might be the surgeon.
I'm saying that we can be Ineos when we have huge disagreements about Bruno Fernandes. This guy wants to sell him. We don't want to sell him.
That was last summer. Now we're gonna keep him.
Yeah. Cool, man.
I'm gonna mess up my head, man. You know what I'm saying? It's
that is long before Amorim.
You know, Amra feels like such a long time ago now. It was such a long time ago. I can't believe it's actually the same season.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy. It's mad. I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you.
But I'll start off. I think for me, I think we've got to compete next year. And when I say compete, it doesn't mean that we win the league. Obviously, we'd love to win the league, but I think we've got to be a little bit more closer. This year, I think we finished 14 points behind Arsenal, I believe. If we can get that to around about, let's say, between, I'd say, double digit, like I'm talking about 10 points, maybe 8 to 10 points behind whoever finishes the league, not just Arsenal. Could be Man City, could be whoever. And also maybe the style of football improves, and we win a trophy as well. And I'm talking maybe FA Cup, you know, Carabao Cup, less to a degree, because I feel like it doesn't hold the same value. But trophy is a trophy. So if we can do that and maintain another season of this, you know what I mean? Because the worst thing we could do is go back to what Chelsea did, finish 4th, a yo-yo. We can't do a yo-yo. We do that, it's a disaster. So we've got to maintain the levels, but make sure we're getting closer to the top. So every year, it looks like there's a steady improvement. So last year we got 3rd. It can't be a fluke. So we've got to maintain that, get to within a certain decent point behind 1st, knowing that we've competed. Maybe we fall off around about March, March, April time. But then we know it's been sustainable. It's been good. It's been positive. And that's what I would say the baseline of what I would want for a Man United team.
But do you not feel like we can compete? Do you not feel like we can challenge? Because obviously that's been a lot of talk right now. Can Man United be the guys to snatch Arsenal's chain? Because I hear it, but also I'm kind of hesitant to, like, you know, push that narrative as well, because I do look around the league and I'm like, Man City obviously got a new manager. Chelsea are in the mud. Liverpool, obviously, they're still trying to fix their house in order as well, because obviously they got a new manager in, and they got, I feel like, a lot of missed profiles with players. I look at what other teams are there. I don't feel like there's really other teams that could really push
Villa.
Arsenal, Villa, but they're not really. I don't feel they're ready or equipped to challenge for a league title. I feel like I look at our team and I look at what we've built this season, given the fact that we've got the most points under Carrick since he's arrived, and the football that we play as well. I think if we sort of address the midfield area this summer and get a few more recruitments in, I think we are in position to compete. I'm not necessarily win the title, but I do feel like we can give Arsenal a run for their money. We beat them at the Emirates. You know, we outplayed them at the Emirates, bro. And I feel like Arsenal aren't a team that, yes, they're a very good team, and I feel like they do lead the pack. They are leading the pack. They're the current Premier League champions. They are a difficult team to beat. They probably have the best defense in Europe, but they don't blow teams away. They don't dominate football matches. They've mastered the art of like seeing out games, you know, securing wins, but not really dominating and punishing teams like the way Klopp's Liverpool did, like the way Pep City did. And so I look at it and I'm like, there's an opportunity here. Like, if we get the right pieces in this summer, I feel like we can give them a run for their money. Generally, like, I feel like we can. But I also don't want to put that pressure of we need to win the title next season, because I think that would be a bit unfair, given that this season, you know, we've been building. You know, just go straight from building to then now we have to win the title. I think it would be a bit too much. But I do believe if there's anyone to stop Arsenal, I think it's us.
I think the league will be a bit more competitive next season, especially around the top, like the traditional top 6 sides. The reason why is because you're saying compete and keep up with Arsenal, but bear in mind everybody else in the top 6 has new managers. Mikel Arteta is the only manager that is continuing what he's been building on. So everyone else is essentially starting afresh, and I think that applies to Michael Carrick as well. Maybe not in the same way that Iraola is going to be starting fresh, because he's got a good 5-6 months with the squad. But I don't want to put that expectation or that kind of pressure on Michael Carrick. Bear in mind, the guy, he's only on a 2-year contract. It might be a case where he's not even the manager to win United the league, but he might be the one that closes the gap to get United closer. And then another manager takes it over the line. I would love if he wins the league title with Manchester United. But realistically, in the past, guys, how many teams have gone from being a bottom half team to them being a top 4 team, then in that 3rd season winning the league? I think it's unrealistic. And I also think it puts a bit of unrealistic pressure on the players that we potentially signed this summer. You look at Arsenal. I think Arsenal is a good blueprint to look at. Because that is an example of progress season on season and eventually getting to their target. Maybe it took them a lot longer than maybe when Pep joined Manchester City, but also Pep has had that unlimited money available from Abu Dhabi owners. So I think Mikel Arteta and Arsenal is a good kind of thing to look at. And I hope that Man United replicate it in a way where they look at Michael Carrick and they don't just focus on, you know, the type of players he wants, but particular profiles that even if he was to leave, those players could still remain at Manchester United and do a good job, like the midfielders that, you know, we've been linked to. In terms of my expectation for next season is heavily dependent on what happens this summer. Because if United set Mikel Arteta up to fail in Michael Carrick, to fail in a way that I think Arsenal did early on in Mikel Arteta's time, where he just brought the most randomest of combination of players, and it took them how many years to start. So I think that summer when they brought Gabby Jesus, I think that's when Arsenal really started to turn a tide in their summer transfers and the targets that they were going for. So Manchester United, I think, can't afford to do that to Carrick. They need to get the players in that he needs, but also that can be here, even if he doesn't get an extension or renewal on his contract. The midfield is important. But I don't think people realize that the defense might be an issue next season as well, because the Champions League football with FA Cup, with Carabao Cup, that's easily another if Man United make, say, quarterfinals, that's like another 12 games or so in the Champions League. Hypothetically, if we make the FA Cup, that's about 6 or so games. Same with Carabao Cup as well. That's another number of games. We have centre-backs that have shown time and time again, I think, as well, that they are injury prone. And we are putting, the same way we're putting maybe heavy burden on Carrick's weight, telling him, you know, next season we want you to compete. I think we're putting heavy weight on players like Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro, who Lenny Yoro, in my opinion, hasn't developed at the trajectory that you would have expected him to since joining Manchester United. So what happens if next season a similar situation happens where Lisandro Martinez is out again and Matthijs de Ligt ain't going to be back anytime soon from his back surgery, and then you've got an aging Harry Maguire? Are we going to risk playing Nazir Mazraoui at centre-back come December in the final game of the Champions League? It's not just the midfield that needs kind of resurgence. It's also that backline. So for me, it depends on what happens in the summer transfer window. Whether or not United bring in 3 players, I still expect them to finish in the top 5. Because if Michael Carrick can do it this season, with half of the season at his disposal, and keep up with Arsenal and even Manchester City, then even hypothetically speaking, without any transfers, he should be able to do it next season too. But I think the summer is so important.
Yeah. But do you think that Ineos have probably looked at this and thought, you know what, there is an opportunity here? Like they've looked around at their competitors and said, look, everyone's vulnerable. Arsenal probably the only stable side. Let's actually invest and because from all the reports I'm seeing, it looks like they are willing to get players in. You've seen we already got Edison through the door. You know, they're targeting Matheus Fernandes already this early in the window. So they are, I feel like that's kind of there is an intent there where they're saying, look, we're going to address these issues. We're going to try to wrap up deals as early as possible and, you know, give Michael Carrick enough time to do his prep. Because obviously it is World Cup summer. A lot of players are going to be playing at the World Cup. So that means that will have an impact on next season. There'll be a lot more tired legs a lot earlier than obviously in a normal season. So do you not think, I feel like I think they're in a position where they're looking at, there is an opportunity, but I don't feel like they're putting that burden on Carrick either. I think the expectation probably is to maintain the standards and also hopefully maybe win a trophy, maybe a cup competition, or maybe go far in the Champions League as well. Because again, I look at the Champions League, I look around outside of PSG, maybe you could say Bayern because of their attack. Arsenal, obviously, in terms of defensive side of things,
it's not great.
It's open. So I think there is opportunity if you get things right. Like you said, Mina, get the right players in different positions, left back, centre back, attack, maybe one more player up there as well. But yeah, but we'll see in it. I think we'll see how the summer activity goes. But Abz, talk to me, man. What's your feeling in terms of next season as well?
If I look at the sample size that we do have, like you guys have mentioned already, Carrick since he's come in, there are probably a couple of results that you look at. Maybe could you do a bit better? I'm thinking Leeds at home where we lost, maybe Newcastle away. It's never easy going to St. James's Park, but Newcastle have underperformed this season. Sunderland away is not easy as well, so I probably give some grace to that. Other than that, it's a really good record for a really extended period of time. Half of a season is enough of a sample size to judge a manager over. But yeah, I agree with a lot of what you guys have said so far. It matters more about what I see in terms of incomings and building a squad. Like if you really think about Arsenal's most recent summer window, obviously Gyökeres and Eze were signed as well, but there was a lot of squad players signed for the team. Norgard was signed, for example. Am I right in thinking Mosquera was last summer as well? Someone that can plug and play in different kind of positions as well. So that almost like that summer window was the icing on top of the cake for them to have a squad that is really well equipped to play in 4 competitions. And as Mina said quite right earlier, it's about how many more games are we going to be playing? And it's the biggest question that is going to be at Michael Carrick's door. Is there some pressure attached to his job? Yes, next season, 100% there is, because it's now you are given the reins as Manchester United manager full time. You don't have an interim role; it's not a caretaker role. Can you handle being a Manchester United manager for 3 games in a week? Again, also the players have to be asked that question. There's so many question marks surrounding these players and whether they can do it in the Champions League. It'd be Mbeumo and I know Cunha might have played Champions League with Atletico Madrid potentially, but it's going to be some of these guys. It's first time playing Champions League and proving their worth there again. Another level for them to prove themselves again. But all in all, having said all of those very fair risks that are attached, I'm quite positive going into it because Michael Carrick has proven a lot of people wrong already. These players have proven a lot of people wrong already. So I don't think it's any risk from fans to have faith going into next season and say, you've shown me half of a Premier League season, you potentially could replicate that again. There are some question marks, but why should I question you? You've answered most of the questions that I've had so far. So let's go for it. Really and truly, it is all about the recruitment. And I'm sure we're going to come to speak about Edison at some point in this video as well. Me personally, I'm not so happy with that being the first signing going through the door necessarily. But if it's someone that's signed as a squad player, for example, and there are more first-team signings coming through the door, then it's not much of an issue. But the recruitment is where my magnifying glass is this summer.
I don't think it matters though, Edison being first signing though. Like I hate
I don't think it matters.
An intent, maybe. I hate Abz, like you kind of like want to start with a lot of intent, but if it does mean though we get 2 midfielders in after Edison, I don't think it might. I'm not really too bothered. That's why
it means the level of midfielder has to go up then. If he's the first one in and there's 2 more coming in after him.
Yes.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to
absolutely
judge until we have all of our midfield signings in. But Yeah.
I think also the Højlund deal probably played a part in that Ederson deal, given the fact that he's got 1 year left in his contract. It was probably an easy deal to get over the line very quickly.
Yeah.
Probably why he was hence the first one through the door, innit? So
I don't know why
I'm not
people
looking
are
to
getting
that.
upset about Ederson,
Yeah.
because it's £34 million. I don't think. I don't know how much people think you're signing a depth midfielder for in football right now that's approaching his prime years. And has Champions League and European experience. I don't know. I'm seeing so many people upset about 30. The thing is,
do we know that he's a depth midfielder signing?
He's not going to be the main priority signing. That's what's been reported multiple
I hope
times.
not.
But even so, £34 million for depth and quality in depth, because it's one thing having a squad player, but what use is it if he's useless?
Ugarte, exactly.
Against for Michael Carrick. So for me, with Ederson, if anything, it further reaffirms my point that the next two midfielders we get are going to be the step up ones. They're going to be the top level ones. Because it's been reported as well that United are going to spend 130, 140 on midfielders. So if you're telling me £38 million package is spent on Ederson, that leaves room for about 55, 60 for two midfielders, give or take.
Give or take. Yeah.
And it's already been reported that Matheus Fernandes we're pushing heavy for that one as well. So I mean, I think we got to be patient, man. The window hasn't even officially opened. I swear it opens the 1st July.
Wow.
I say it opens 1st July.
14th June.
Is it? Oh, they done it earlier.
14th of June.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's what I'm saying. We've got a deal done already before the window's even open. So it's a long summer. So I'm not looking into that too much. But listen, guys, one thing I have to discuss. Obviously, we left the season with something. I know it's not the typical trophy that we tend to celebrate, but obviously Bruno Fernandes got the assist record. Yeah, can we get a round of applause for Bruno, please? Saeed, I'll need the biggest round of applause.
Saeed.
Oh, there is.
Listen, as much as rival fans want to downplay, obviously, that achievement and, make us seem like, we're clutching at straws. We're not. Obviously, it's a record that's been held for over 20 years, and it's a Manchester United player that's broken it, and Bruno Fernandes has done that. Where does he rank for you guys amongst the greatest midfielders? Because I had this debate with a friend recently, and I can't lie, there's a shout for him to get into the top 10. There is a shout. If you look at, if we're talking about ability,
wait, hold on. Midfielders of all time or Premier League all time?
All time Premier League midfielders, guys. I'm talking about all time Premier League midfielders. Yeah, what do you think I said? It's just in general.
God damn, you say table 3. I said you lost your mind.
That's crazy. Let him win the World Cup though. We'll get uncomfortable. Iniesta, Modric, come outside, man. Come outside. No, I'm joking. But listen, in terms of Premier League midfielders of all time, where does Bruno rank for you? Because I know obviously a lot of people do base that list based on obviously team achievements as well, team success. Obviously, having a Premier League title is essential when it comes to all-time list for a lot of people. But if you talk about individual ability, the stats, the amount of City's arrived at Manchester United, you don't talk about almost 300 goal contributions in 6 years, 6 to 7 years, at Manchester United. So, where does he rank for you guys in terms of all-time?
You mentioned
why is it we're talking about
in my head I'm going through the top 10 who I would put in my top 10. And I'm thinking, where did
guys are looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, top 10's a bit of a mad one though. Top 10, I'm not sure about top 10.
Does he not squeeze in number 10, number 9?
For example, you mentioned having a Premier League title is not important. Obviously, so
exactly.
It's very clear that Steven Gerrard didn't have a Premier League title, but we know based on his quality that he had week in, week out, carrying Liverpool for so long, he's still rated in high esteem. So although a lot of people are going to react based on the fact that you made this conversation happen in general, there is legs for it. I'm not sure if it makes top 10. There's so many top quality midfielders that I've played in the Prem.
The hard thing as well is that he's a 10. The only 10 that gets into the top 10 midfielders of Premier League all time is Kevin De Bruyne. There's not really anybody. So he's battling
David
it
Silva
out.
Gets in there.
And maybe David Silva. But then other than that, he's battling it out with Gerrard, Lampard, and Kante, Yaya Toure. There's so many natural, eights, centre mids, box to box. So it's very hard. If you said, creative players that have blessed the Premier League,
that's easy.
I'll
That's
be
easy.
like, okay, cool. He could be in that conversation. But and also like with Steven Gerrard, the reason why he makes it into that list is because of his longevity, like how long he was doing it.
Yeah.
6 years is a drop in the ocean.
Solid work.
How long Steven Gerrard was in the Premier League. If Bruno
Yeah.
was in the league for 15 years and he never won a Prem, but he was putting up these numbers across that 15 years and being integral for the team, then I think that debate could happen. It could happen. Maybe he just about sneaks into 10th place, but I don't have my top 10 list written out in my head.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the way I look at it also is obviously double digits pretty much every season he's been at Man United, both goals and assists. I look at how much he's carried and what he's gone through at the club as well. Because I feel like a lot of the players that we would mention in this top 10 list, could they carry Manchester United in the same manner that, you know, Bruno has and still contribute in the way that he has? Even if, you know, of course, in terms of his character, he's been labeled so many different things. Obviously, a lot of people are kind of criticized his attitude and stuff like that on the pitch and him being a moaner and whatnot. But we talk about it just on the pitch. Not a lot of players can do or carry the weight, you know, on their shoulders like Bruno has for Manchester United and take the criticism and still deliver, you know, in the way that he has. So I feel like some people might overlook these things, but I think that should also play into account when people are talking about, you know, ranking midfield, especially in his era. I feel like in his era, only KDB can really track him. You could possibly maybe say David Silva as well, because I really like David Silva. But I would say really and truly, it's only Kevin De Bruyne that can really talk to him.
On the flip side,
Would Dennis Bergkamp not be in there? I mean, he played the 10.
Oh, get Dennis Bergkamp out of here, man. Bruno's got him.
Wow.
Bruno's
I was
got
going to
him.
say, on the flip side, yeah, all the people that you put in the top 10, the best argument is if you take them out of that team and put Bruno in, does that team still win what they went on to win?
I think I think there's a lot of teams that if Bruno played for, yes, they would still be challenging or winning titles. I still believe that.
I think it's a different one.
I think Bruno's the type of player. If you put him with better players and a better team or in a better environment, that team will still achieve the things that they're achieving and maybe even more. I always said if you put Bruno in Arsenal, they would already won a league title by now. They would have waited till 2026.
Is there a reason though that Bruno's not been kind of maybe bought by one of the top teams? Is there a reason for that?
We'll see this summer because he's got £57 million release clause.
Yeah.
But obviously his age is going to be a thing now. But I think he's always been linked with top teams over the years. Obviously, he's been committed to Manchester United. He's been linked with all the top teams.
I think it's been tentative links. It's not been like, yo, we are making it a mission to sign you, Bruno Fernandes. You know?
But we also made a mission not to get rid of him as well.
I agree.
It's gone both ways. So I feel like we've made it feel like he has to stay. You know, so I mean, it's tough, innit? It's tough, but I think he can sneak into that top 10. I haven't done my actual top 10 list, but I feel like if I was to write it down, I think I could see him in a 9-10 position, based on and he's got the assist record, guys. We're talking about a guy that's got an assist record now. Now, listen, now he can, you know what I mean? He can sit and show something for his work. You know, that's the one thing I've him getting that award now. At least, even if he was to leave Man United not having won the majors, I feel like he can at least hold his head up high and say, yo, listen, I got the assist record. You know, I've created a legacy for myself, even though I didn't win a Premier League title or a Champions League title. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for him in that sense because I think it does a lot for his legacy, you know? I think it does a lot for his legacy. Yeah, but listen, guys, I appreciate you guys jumping on. Yeah. Guys, where can they find you? For
me, Saeed TV, man. Pleasure for having me on. Big up Liban, big up Mina, big up Abz.
Dude, you look like you're in heaven right now. Well, like the background is.
No, you know what it is.
Yeah,
it's the Inshallah.
It's either that or he's in section. Well, like, he's either in heaven or he's in the mental asylum. That's it.
Life changed for him, man. What do you mean?
I need to change the settings of the camera, man. I've just moved in, so I need to change the aperture, whatever it's called, man. The light that goes in and the light goes out.
But
listen, I appreciate you guys jumping on. I'm gonna put all your YouTubes in the description.
So me and Mina can't tell them where we can find it.
No.
I just know I can find Saeed. I just don't know I can find Saeed. That's it, man.
I've done this channel in 10 years, man.
Mug. Hey man, you can find
go on
out
then,
Busquets
Abz. Go on
everywhere.
then,
Big
Abz.
up, man.
Go on,
You can
man.
find out Busquets everywhere.
Come on.
All kind of socials.
Yeah,
man.
Mina as well. Go on.
Yeah,
They
Mina
made
football.
it seem personal. They made it seem personal. Go on now. Go on.
No, it's fine,
got-
man. It's fine.
he's got his
We know
favourite.
where to find you. See, don't worry. We're gonna subscribe after this video. Don't worry. And I'm gonna follow you. on all platforms. Don't worry.
Go on, then, Mina. You're gonna say we're gonna find
Oh, I
you.
said Mina football
Yes.
all platforms, man. I said it.
Okay, cool,
Mina
cool,
football all
big
platforms.
All right, listen. I appreciate you guys for jumping on, and until next time, peace.